What's up, everyone? I am Magic Mario, and welcome to a new week full of streams. For those of you who are new to the channel, I welcome you. You will find that here is a safe place to be. We don't really do the whole, you know, bullying thing. We also don't really discuss too many things that are of a religious or political uh, atmosphere. We don't like to add those sort of things here. Um, just because the world is difficult enough as it is, and we like to try to keep things light. Today we have planned to do quite a bit. We got ourselves new effects available to all of you who view this channel. We got brand new sound effects, videos, and all that added to your perusal. We also have a longer streaming schedule for the foreseeable future until things need to be changed. Um, we have all kinds of new gadgets, and gizmos coming to the future. Um, and we are very excited to see how this goes. Now, if you're like me and you kind of have a little tendency to be on the slower side of things, that maybe you're new to Twitch in general, uh, below you'll notice every once in a while you'll periodically get new channel points, and there are bits, and you can use those to purchase sound effects and manage the stream in a small way. We also are going to be watching some videos today, playing some games, and just hanging out, having a good time. Lately, I've noticed quite a bit of those stinking silly AI videos everywhere. They're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. You can kind of see where this is going. They're everywhere, and the problem I have with a lot of those is it's hard to say who that stuff belongs to. And with the amount of scammers that exist in the world, I can't help but notice that maybe not every AI video is a scam, but every scam is becoming an AI video these days. And with that, it's getting harder and harder to notice. So just be weary, stay safe out there. We don't want anybody getting involved on something that honestly they shouldn't. We also have lately all kinds of issues with the censorship going around for age verification and things like that. And in my mind, I feel like that's a little invasive of our private property, our intellectual property. We have, and this is just my rough take on it, but we have a bit of a slippery slope here on what is and isn't okay to be viewed. They say it's for the protection of children, but I often wonder about that. Primarily because they have plenty of child safety programs out there for devices and all of these channels. They all have ratings. You'll see when you enter my channel, it should pop up on the screen, that it could have profanity on it or maybe a little bit of adult humor or something like that. But because if I'm gonna shenan once, I'm definitely gonna shenan again. But we definitely got to keep that in mind. And for these children, I mean, I think a lot of this is coming down to too many kids being on screens constantly, and I can kind of see where that's going. There's a lot that they have available to them that, frankly, even when I was younger, we didn't have. And but we're also forgetting one thing: parents should have the right to parent their children however they see fit, as long as it's in a legal manner, and that they're not causing any direct harm to the child. Now, that could be interpreted pretty wide, and it's got a very broad interpretation, but honestly, not something crazy to be said for sure. I mean, when I think about it, there's been many a times in my lifetime that, you know, maybe it was a little bit on the gray area, but we got to play outside, ride our bikes. We would go to a friend's house, and you know, that would be where we would be for maybe 3 4 hours. And I know this atmosphere these days is very on the very sketchy side of things, and it's unfortunate that we have an atmosphere like that today, but it does give us a little bit of an opportunity to, as a community, stop and say, okay, this is what's going on, and this is how we handle this situation. And now the kids from this time to this time can be out and about, and us parents are going to watch them do these things. I get it, it's hard because, you work a full time job. You don't really have the presence of mind. You don't have the ability to always um, give that energy, especially after a long, hard work day. And I feel like that's also where these employers are going wrong with their scheduling. I feel like you don't have to give people a full extra day of free time. But I do feel like it is on the uh, company's best interest to uh, think about mitigating what it means to be full time, maybe mitigating how they schedule people around. Uh, Instead of looking for the best way to cut corners, maybe they should think about their infrastructure a little better. Because overall, there's a lot of companies out there that they have a lot of instances where money goes missing and they just can't account for it, or at least that's where it's alleged anyway. And sometimes we need to stop and ask ourselves, instead of going, oh, well, I guess it's just a mystery, we can say, you know what? If they were better handling their monetary affairs, maybe these things wouldn't have been happening. You know, maybe if they spent a little more time paying attention to their people instead of their profits, they'd have a proper work staff, and people that are working the jobs would have a little more, um, they wouldn't be as pressured to do their jobs well because they would just be doing it. Now, I know that doesn't apply to everybody because some people are just like that. Some people just, there's going to be people out there that just won't give their full energy on anything. And unfortunately, that is something that you really can't force on people. And there's not really a lot that's going to get those people out of the life that you're living. It's always going to be a thing. As long as there's differing opinions and unique personalities and things that exist, there's always going to be that person that's just not as driven as you are, or not as passionate about whatever they're doing as you are. And that's okay. Sometimes we got to stop and say, you know what? They're not, but I can handle what I'm handling. It stinks that they're not giving as much energy, and it may cause some issues for you or for somebody that works with you. But then again, you gotta keep in mind maybe they're doing their best. You know, some people are just not quite equipped to be working in every job. You know, the problem with our education system and the way that things get trained, I've worked my fair share of jobs over my lifetime. And I can say the training process at almost every company I've worked for, some of them do a really good job. They pay a lot of money and they put a lot of energy and effort into training people. They give you all kinds of snacks and videos. They try to keep it light, but the problem is when you transition from that training room into the workforce or something, oftentimes you find yourself like with people who, did not get that training. They did not get that energy. They are burnt out. They've been working tirelessly for too long. And honestly, they need to be given maybe a few days of just like, look, this is what we want from you. What do you want out of your time here, kind of thing. Maybe that's a good way of keeping things in tab. But I don't know. I do think that every time that I've gone to a job and I've done the training and then I've gone out, they aren't doing it the way that the company is saying they're doing it. And that may be a disconnect from old school and new school. But I do know that maybe it's the company's best interest to listen to the trainers and see how it actually is. Maybe the CEOs need to stop what they're doing and try working the lowest level job for like, a couple hours a month just to remind themselves what their lowest paid people are dealing with. I think if they do that, people will start to notice what the difference is, you know? Because I'm not against anybody that's made money or is making money. I don't think anybody that is pressured by the economy these days is. They just want to make sure that the people that have the money are using it in a positive and ethical way that benefits everybody, not just those wealthy people who are already benefiting from being wealthy. And I don't think that's too much to ask. But that's just my 2 cents. And, you know, we're all allowed those kind of opinions. It doesn't hurt to discuss things. It doesn't hurt to think about, you know, what this day and age is doing to the people. And I think that it's our prerogative to make sure that things are going best way that they can. Especially those who are in a position of power to do so. Now, anyways, yeah, that's my take on all that. Might be a little too broad or vague, but honestly, I do try to see things from all angles and understand that, sometimes things are a little dicey. Sometimes we're pushed a little bit too far on some subjects. Sometimes the working class people, they're just, you know, if you throw these people a bone, they will work their entire life for you. I've seen that. But the moment that you stop, that's when you get friction like this. And I also know that maybe these wealthy people are doing the best they can. They just don't really have the good people to tell them what they need to know or hear. Maybe they don't have the support systems in place to think rationally. They don't talk things through with those around them enough. Um, Maybe there's too many people in their company that sugarcoat things or glaze things over, making it look better than it actually is. And then if they're not given the information, they can't do anything to change it either. I'm not going to say every one of those CEOs is good. I do think there is a little bit of question when you reach a certain amount, how much is too much, how much is enough. And you have to wonder, like, what do you have to do to get some of these people to understand, maybe it is a good idea to give back. Maybe they are, and we just don't know. Maybe they're giving back in ways that we don't know about. But I can say from the bottom end of that, it doesn't seem like their money's going very far or doing very much to help the working man. And I think that's kind of criminal in itself. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Um, but yeah, you're doing all right so far, though. Um, for those of you who have been on Twitch and been streaming for a while, you may have heard about the changes of the requirements for affiliates and things like that. So it's a little easier now. But you still gotta do your part. The other day, I was watching Iron Mouse's debut, and unfortunately, some schlub was recording and displaying her video while she was doing her debut, and honestly, it makes all the lower end people look bad. Yeah, we might not be exactly where we want to be in this, but the problem is you can't compare yourself with somebody who's on a journey already. Like, you don't know how long somebody had been, out there streaming for. I mean, we at least know that Iron Mouse has been doing this for 8 years. You know what I mean? And 8 years is a long time to be doing anything. I could say that as somebody, I was doing work for almost 4, and that's only half. And I could probably tell you everything and anything you need to know from that kind of job. But yeah, unfortunately, don't do that. Don't piggyback off of other people's streams like that. It's one thing or another when you're just like, hey, go check these people out or something like that. But no, don't stream other people's content. That's effed up. Um, Other than that, though, I think all in all, I don't hear about it happening too often, but maybe that's just because I'm not on that end. But honestly, if we're all just doing our part to make our content the best we can, that's all we need to ask from ourselves. I don't know everybody's situation or why they do this, but I mean, honestly, it's something you got to play by ear. You can't really expect a major change to come from it because honestly, that's just not the reality. At least not right away. You gotta at least learn the ebbs and flows of not just like speaking to the people, but like just like enjoy the journey that you're on. Look at where you started. I mean, I can honestly say I've only been doing this. I haven't even made it a year yet, and every time I load up the videos, it gets better. Every time I do a or do gaming or something, it works better. Um, Honestly, there's a scene that I inputted right before the stream, literally 3 4 minutes before doing it. So hopefully it works right. But um, honestly, I think it's great that I can actually do this as fast as I can now. Um, and it's the same thing like with doing digital art or writing or something. Sometimes just doing the thing will get you to where you're doing it faster, better, you're more prepared, you think about things a little better, you consider the implications of the content or whatever that you're making. You think about the reach that it's going to have on someone. Um, and really, as far as my stuff is concerned, I just hope it brings a smile to one person. And that's really only ever my goal is, if I can impact one person with my videos or something like that, whether it's for the better or whatever, then I've done my part, you know. Uh, but yeah, we're gonna try to keep things going with these videos here in a moment. I just wanted to get a few things off my chest and try to give you guys a little bit of one-on-one time to some degree. I do think that doing so will help people, get to know me as a streamer better. And feel free to hit me up in Discord or on Twitter, whatever, or in chat, and we can discuss things. You can ask me questions, um, and we can just ride this journey together. We got to build this community one person at a time. I don't expect it to happen overnight or anything, but I do think that you know it's a cool place to be. It'll be fun, and honestly, we can make a go of this. So let's just let's have a good time. Today we are going to be watching 2 videos. One's going to be a video of Digimon, the original series. I'm going to be doing that for, about an hour or so. And then we'll switch to the Pokemon series and do that for about an hour or so. And then we'll play some games. And depending on how the gaming goes and stuff, we may have to switch up the games depending on just how, sometimes things with streaming, it can go messy fast. And it's just how you react to these things that makes it, good or bad, to be honest. But um I don't anticipate any issues because I've tested everything thoroughly before the stream, so we should be good to go. But yeah, check out my fourth wall page. That's Magic Mario 00 hyphen shop.fourthwall.com, and it has everything that you guys could possibly ever need. I'm talking clothing, office supplies, household items. That site has a bit of everything, and I think if you check it out, you're gonna love it. Everything that I've received from them has been great quality. The shirts are comfortable. The hats they are durable. They last long. The coffee cups and things, they're not just those cheap, in the mall sticker cleaned freaking coffee mugs. Like, you could throw them in the dishwasher and they're gonna be fine. You can put them in the microwave and you're not gonna have to worry about, the stuff chipping off or nothing like that. The carrier mug doesn't have like a cheap handle or anything. So yeah, go check out the site, see what they got, and you'll be pleasantly surprised because I know I was. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to the video. We will flop over to that page. As you can see, there isn't a whole lot right this second. I intend to put some more graphics up in the future, but honestly, as soon as I do, you guys will notice it right away, and I hope you guys will love it. Again, today we are going to continue the Digimon Adventure show, like we was watching on Sunday. I started it fresh, so it's just kind of, we're still in the beginning parts of it. I also showed the Digimon Time Stranger game, which I might show that video again just because it was fucking cool as shit. And honestly, I can't believe it's not being hyped up as much as it should be. Those guys were working really hard on that. And as a matter of fact, I might actually look that up for you here in a minute. We'll play a couple of those videos, and then we'll play a couple of we'll do the Digimon Time Stranger trailer like we watched the other day. Just because it was cool. I really liked it. Find the one that I watched. There, that's it.
The fastest kick overlay setup. Open our scene builder, choose the...
Okay. Watch the we'll watch this video actually first. Forget it. We'll do that. First things first. So you guys know what I'm talking about.
Agent, this begins your report from the Adamus Special Investigation Bureau. We have designated the Shinjuku Inferno as a top-level anomaly. Phase electron lifeforms known as Digimon are suspected to somehow be linked to this world collapse phenomenon. Obtaining Digimon. Digimon have long been suspected of a casual correlation to anomalies throughout history, and Digimon are also our best counter to such threats. Now, open your Digivice and activate the summoning program that's installed. Digimon are strange creatures composed of both organic matter and electric signals. The Digivice can also convert the Digimon equivalent of DNA into binary code. This allows you to create more Digimon to join our mission. Although these creatures are living beings, they can also be generated like data. Through battles, you can analyze enemy Digimon. Once analysis is complete, you can then create that Digimon. This process is known as convert. Once the scan rate reaches 100% or higher, you can convert the data into a new Digimon.